We join Officer Donald Ward and his dog, Scooter, on a cold spring night, fog quickly enveloping the landscape as they continue on their patrol.
Don't worry, boy. It's probably just another excuse to keep me out here.
Attention to all nearby officers. We have received a tip on a young male wandering, looking lost from Cherry Lake Drive east of 2nd Street. The sheriff is asking for any officer on patrol to investigate.
Could be one of those missing boys. This is Officer Ward. I'm on it. Over.
Officer Ward, not so far from the end of another long shift, takes the call. He's had to put his career before family for too long. Only a fortnight remains before he can finally retire.
You know, Scoot, back in the day we used to go swimming in this lake. It used to be clean enough to see the bottom. Those were the days.
Continuing down Highway 93, Officer Ward then proceeds to take a left on 7th Street. From there, he turns right on Lincoln Avenue. You know, some people think that waiting until 8th Street and turning right there is a faster route to the lake, but really, then you have an extra stoplight to go through. Officer Ward knows better than that. With a huff, Officer Ward stumbles out of his car. With a slow, methodical scan, he looks over the playground, the picnic benches, and the restrooms. Nothing.
Guess we have to look a little closer, huh, Scooter? Ready for a swim? Can't teach an old dog new tricks, huh, boy?
Oof. Oof.
What do you have here, boy?
Oof.
Is that Jell-O? Wait, no, it's glowing.
Officer Ward and the Scooter have stumbled upon something glowing in bright green. Ward, being the germaphobe he is, steers clear of that mess.
Scooter, don't go near that. I don't want you barfing that stuff up in the car. Let's just get out of here. It's getting too late.
Ward, tired and ready to go home, went back to the car. But always a diligent note-taker, he jotted down what he saw.
Who goes there?
Oof. Oof.
Upon turning on the car and the headlights, Officer Ward discovers a young man, a stranger, standing right in front of the car, about 20 years old. He was wearing strange clothing, soaking wet. Where did he come from? Officer Ward quickly hops out of the car to confront this young man.
Son, what are you doing out here? Why are you soaking wet?
Experiments.
What? Experiments? What do you mean?
Water.
Yeah, I can see that. What are you doing out so late taking a swim?
Change has to come.
Yeah, a change of clothes is what you need. Here, take a blanket and get in. I'll take you home.
Change will come.
All right, whatever you say.
Officer Ward, Scooter, and the stranger hop into the car.
Settle down, Scoot. This young man seems like a fine fella. So tell me, son, where do you live? Nothing? All right. Hey, Suzanne, this is Officer Ward. I have a young man I found out here. Must be one of them missing boys. I'm bringing him to the station. Over.
Cherries?
What are you trying to say? If you're just out of your mind on that reefer or something, I can't really help you out now, can I? You like this rock and roll music? Not really my scene.
Where are the cherries? I need more cherries.
Cherries? Well, I guess you were looking at the right place. Right on Cherry Lake.
Welcome to the very first episode of Cherry Lake. we bring you a brand new exciting thriller from the brilliant minds of Matt Kennett and George Trabaris, with editing, sound effects, and music by the great Jared Zingsheim. This is the first ever Hip Dad Radio scripted radio program, starring the amazing talents of Perry Termolin as Donald Ward, Rocky Brown as Sheriff Sean Murphy, Luke Sharkey as Bernard Clifton, Blair Sunhausen as Maria Papadopoulos, Perry Termolin as Max Buford, Alex Kennett as Scooter the Dog, Curtis Hines as Officer Delmato, Blair Sunhausen as Sarah Ward, Luke Sharkey as Johnny Pike, Lauren Sheeman as Officer Tom Doyle, Doug Hall as Harry Greer, Lauren Sheeman as the Butler, Adele Vattel as Suzanne Summers, Arthur Branicki as Mayor Chester Gibson, and I'm your host, Curtis Hines.
Hi, my name's Bob Janglestrom, spokesperson for world-famous Floach's Coffee. You ever wake up from a 4-scotch night and think, boy, I could use a pick-me-up? I recommend Floach's, the fastest fella's formula for future functioning.
Don't forget to start your day with a Floach's Coffee.
Cherry Lake is a tale of intrigue and mystery in the perfectly quaint town of Bondville, Michigan, known for its delicious cherries. Changes are coming. A nuclear reactor started operation only a year ago, and many are uneasy for change. The mayor of the town, Chester Gibson, knows the opportunity this reactor brings is worth it to bring new jobs to the town, while many are wary of the new culture that it entails. Eccentric owner Bernard Clifton tries his best to win over the people of the town.
Greetings, people of Bondville. On this day, May 15th, 1963, I call to the order a town hall meeting. On the agenda for today, we first hear from Mr. Bernard Clifton, owner and operator of the great nuclear plant that just opened 1 year ago on this very day. It has been able to generate enough power to light up half of all of Michigan and bring great jobs to our town.
Yeah, because half of all of Michigan moved here.
Quiet down, all you. Mr. Buford, you'll have time to talk later. Mr. Clifton is a busy man. You would never have the kind of business in your store if you never opened that reactor here. Show him some respect now. Where was I? Oh yes, power. You know, folks, back in our day, we used to warm our houses a nice and cozy fire over the fireplace. We had to chop the wood ourselves. Horrible business in a blizzard. I'm sure some of my contemporaries sitting here today remember those times. But they sure were simple anyway. But all this change is good. And here to talk about it is Mr. Clifton.
Very good, Mayor Gibson. Thank you for your warm introduction. Always the rich storyteller, aren't you? Please, everyone, give it up for the wonderful mayor. As Americans, we strive for greatness, afraid of the unknown. On December 7th, 1941, we all remember the bombs that shook a nation. How did you feel reading the morning's news headlines? Scared? Angry? The future? We didn't know what would happen. You didn't know what would happen to your family. But we knew we needed to rise to the situation and to fight back. Make change. I know I did. I enlisted that very morning, and we won. And what dealt the final blow? A nuclear bomb. A bomb using the very same energy we are using to power our plant. Energy which may yet change the world. For those of you who don't know, my name is Bernard Clifton, and I am an American. And I want that change in this world for my family, my community, and my nation. That's why I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm announcing today that my plant will fully power the 43rd Annual Cherry Festival. Free of charge! You're gonna be able to see this festival from space. Mr. Mayor.
Gee, Mr. Clifton, what a wonderful gift to our fine town. Truly, we all thank you for this generous donation. This year's Cherry Festival will be the best yet. I could not be more excited, with only a few weeks left to plan. Remember, folks, we will need volunteers to help organize and execute our amazing annual tradition. And ladies, don't forget to whip out your recipes from the always delicious cherry pie competition. I know that's my favorite part. All right, but now, today's next business. Now, Miss Fellbottom and her committee to protect the cats has proposed that Ordinance B.34 be rectified to not only include farm animals, but also household cats. This can be...
As most of the town folks leave at this point, so should we. Now on to the next day. We go to the police station where the sheriff is just starting his day.
Good morning, Suze. Any messages for me?
Good morning, Sheriff. Well, first up, we got a call from Principal Hendricks of Bondville High. There's been another vandalism incident. Graffiti all over the football bleachers, but no suspects yet.
Again? I'll tell you, I'm genuinely worried about these kids. They're our future, and someone needs to sit down and talk with them.
Well, then why don't you, Sheriff? I feel like you would whip them into shape.
Well, I don't quite know about that. My son gives me enough trouble as is.
Oh, come on now, Sheriff. You know you are a natural leader. Remember that time you helped the Boy Scouts earn their citizenship merit badge? They loved it.
What they loved was shooting guns off at the range. I was just a means to an end.
Oh, stop it. You know they appreciated it. You taught them some good stuff that day. You know, one of the boys, little Johnny Pike, he came up to me afterwards and said he wants to grow up to be a sheriff. Just like you.
Did he really say that? You're pulling my leg.
Yes, he did, just like you.
That little Johnny's a bright boy. Mr. Pike did a hell of a job raising him.
He sure did. Oh, by the way, my notes will be handwritten today.
Why is that?
Oh, well, Sheriff, it's my shoulder. It's pretty horrible. I'm not supposed to use my left arm for the next 3 days, or so my doctor says. I don't know what I'm going to do about that.
Oh, come on now.
Hey, these typewriters were meant for 2 hands, Sheriff. 2 hands.
No problem at all, dear. We're gonna need that left arm healthy. This town is growing faster than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking competition. And that means more work for the both of us. Well, anyway, Suze, could you call Principal Hendricks for me? I want to have Ward come to the high school with me to check on the graffiti in the football bleachers later today.
Oh, it's the strangest thing. Ward hasn't come in yet today, and he didn't call or say anything.
What is his deal?
No idea, but he is 2 hours late for his shift.
Well, it sounds like Ward's starting to lose his edge. I'll pop over to his house and give him a mouthful. Might even get to see Mrs. Ward.
Sheriff Murphy, anxious to see what's going on with the Deputy Ward, leaves right away. Ward is never the type to be this late, so Sheriff Murphy is worried. But something else worries the sheriff in this moment, something much more pressing. He hasn't eaten breakfast, and Sheriff Murphy's favorite is a donut and coffee from Papa's Diner. What cop doesn't love a good donut?
Well, look who it is. Sheriff Murphy. How's it going today?
Busy as usual. Tons of work to do today, and no one is showing up. It's a miracle this town is safe with the amount of people and the lack of police force.
Yeah, okay, Sheriff Murphy. What are you having today? The usual?
Yeah, but could you make that 2? I need to wake someone up. And actually, make that to go. I'm in a bit of a rush today.
All right, 2 black coffees and chocolate glaze coming up. Hey, you have any updates on those missing boys? You know I played bridge with Kathy, and she's second cousins once removed with that second lost boy, Jimmy. He was just coming into town to work at that new reactor. He was just out of high school, poor thing. Kathy is just...
Nothing yet. Like I said, we're very busy and trying our best with what we have.
All right. Here you are. That'll be 63 cents.
Keep the change. And you can tell Kathy we're taking this seriously and tell her not to worry.
Turning around, Sheriff Murphy sees a familiar face. Young Johnny Pike. The sheriff was eager to talk to the boy whom Suzanne said was his biggest fan.
Johnny! Hello there, young man. How are you doing today? I see you're in your troop uniform. Are the scouts doing something today?
Hello, Mr. Sheriff. We're doing our cooking merit badge and learning from Mr. Papadopoulos.
Isn't that nice? Cooking is a very important skill, and you're learning from the best. What are you cooking today?
Not cooking yet. First, we must learn the fundamentals of preparing a kitchen.
Well, isn't that thorough?
It's amazing. I think when I'm grown up, I want to be just like Mr. Papadopoulos, a cook.
Whoa, hold on there. A cook? You don't want to be a cook.
But Mr. Sheriff, didn't you tell me it's a very important skill?
Well, it's not that important. It's certainly not as important as trying to keep our town safe.
Well, my mom says we live in the safest town in America, but also the dirtiest. She says there's too much graffiti from all the new people.
Well, that's not all we do as police officers. We're charged not only with protecting the people from harm and keeping criminals responsible, but also in doing our part in helping the community. We stop criminals from violent crimes and, at the same time, help Miss Fellbottom save her cats.
That's boring. I like cooking.
Well, that's fine, son. You and the scouts have a good one then. He'll get tired of cooking eventually.
Leaving the diner, Sheriff Murphy continues to Deputy Ward's place. But Maria Papadopoulos has her hands full. There is always a crowd on Saturday mornings, almost as if the whole town is eating at Papa's Diner. But let's focus on the two regulars catching up in their usual booth.
Max, Harry, you two still doing all right?
Maria, top off my coffee?
No problem. You, Harry?
Same 2 sugars and a cream for me. Thanks, Maria.
So anyway, I can't believe we were picked to run the bar at the fest. Access to unlimited beer on tap through the whole festival? Wonderful.
Yeah, they don't know the kind of trouble we got ourselves into back in the day.
Remember when we stole one of old lady Fellbottom's cats? She was looking for it for weeks.
Those were the days.
Well, we're not kids anymore, but running a bar sure sounds like a blast.
Oh yeah, it does. We used to be so free, old buddy. Now I have to balance the family, the mortgage, and on top of all that, keep that crazy town reactor going.
I hear ya. Running the store ain't a picnic either. Gotta keep the old people alive and the youngsters under control.
And I never see my daughter anymore, and when I do, I feel like she's always mad at me about something. Anything to treat that?
Hey, we're working on it. Hey, last night at the town meeting, your boss announced he's powering the Cherry Fest. Got anything to do with that? Couldn't fill me in on that secret? You've been working there for a while now. What is it, like 5 years?
Actually, 6 already, 5 years building it, and now I'm just keeping the place up and running. Crazy, huh? And yeah, the boss, I've been working on it with Mr. Clifton for a bit now, and I know what you're going to say.
Hey, just saying it took me by surprise. But you know my position on it. I'm just worried about what's going on in there. Don't you feel like it's dangerous? We bombed Japan with that stuff.
Max, don't worry about it. I keep telling you it's safe.
But it's so close to town. I can't believe you won't tell me anything that goes on in there. Or even what the deal is with this Clifton guy. Who is he really? He shows up out of the blue in our small neck of the woods building a giant nuclear reactor that no one asked for? Just seems a little off, doesn't it?
I know, it's a little out of the ordinary, but things are changing in our little town. It's only a matter of time before we're in next Detroit. But anyway, as far as I'm concerned, it pays the bills.
The next Detroit? I don't think anywhere will catch up with that bustle in town. But you won't even fill in your best friend? I can keep a secret. You know, to this day, I haven't told anyone about what happened on Eagles Peak.
Just drop it, please.
All right. Maybe you know something you're not telling me. Or maybe you just don't know. But this is our town's safety we're talking about here. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't trust the guy. You should get to know him, that's all.
We've gotten to know a few more characters, and maybe they will become more important as the story of Cherry Lake continues. The story of a small town sweeping the nation. And remember, today's episode is brought to you by
Lonnie's Lubrication. Is friction constantly getting you in a sticky situation? Are you constantly stopping short of your maximum potential? Get back into top gear with Lonnie's Lubrication and Tuning. A couple slathers of this miracle oil will get your engine piston sliding up and down like the day it rolled off the lot. Order some Lonnie's Lubrication and get back on the road today. Lonnie's Lubrication. The lubrication for you.
Now we return to the sheriff's quest to find Officer Ward.
Well, hello there, Sheriff.
Oh, good morning. And please, you know you can call me Sean. You're looking mighty fine today, aren't you, Mrs. Ward?
Oh, stop it. Okay, fine, Sean. Come on, what's going on now? You know I'm always happy to see you, but it's been a minute, sweetie.
Well, you see, your husband didn't show up to work today, and we need to get over to the high school pronto. Could you rush upstairs and wake him up for me?
What do you mean? I thought he was at work. He hasn't been here since yesterday afternoon.
Is that so? Let me just call the office real quick to check in. I might have just missed him. Do you mind if I use your phone? My car radio hasn't worked in weeks.
Not at all. I hope he's okay.
I'm sure he is. Just give me a minute.
This is the sheriff's office. Suzanne speaking.
Hey, Suze, it's Sheriff Murphy. I'm over at Ward's place, and he isn't home. Just trying to see if he showed up after I left.
Oh, Sheriff, you really have to get your radio fixed. I've been trying to get in touch with you for a while now.
Oh, trust me, I know. Apparently building nuclear plants are no problem in this town, but fixing a radio? Too big of an ask.
You're very funny, Sheriff, but this is urgent. Tom called in about an hour ago saying he found Ward's patrol car down by the Cherry Lake. It was crashed into one of the big oaks down there. No sign of Ward at all.
All right, well, tell Tom I'll meet him over there ASAP. Thanks, Suze.
What's going on? This isn't like him at all. Should I be worried?
No, not at all, Sarah. But I have to be going. I'm sure it's nothing serious.
I hope so.
After thanking her for the phone and trying not to worry Sarah Ward, Sheriff Murphy drives towards Cherry Lake. He waits a few blocks and then turns on his sirens, hoping Mrs. Ward won't hear it.
Hey, Sheriff, there you are. We need you here. You see how nasty of a wreck this is? That's Ward's patrol car. Looks like he just drove it straight into the tree. And as for Ward himself, not a trace.
This looks like a tough one. Suze filled me in a bit. What's the rundown?
Phil, you want to fill in the sheriff?
Hey, Sheriff, sure thing. Here's my report so far. Officer Ward was patrolling Cherry Lake last night, see? He called in and found a young man, and he was going to bring him into the station, but he never showed up. We found his notebook, though. He wrote something down about a green waste from a plant. Not sure if that's helpful.
Interesting. Well, you guys know the drill. This is now a crime scene. Tom, rope off the area. Phil, try to turn any passerbys away. We don't need this to become a story until we know more of the details. But hey, is that really all we've got?
Yeah, that's about it so far. We looked around the immediate area and don't see any signs of human activity. Not many leads to go off of besides the notebook.
All my years policing, I've never seen a case like this. Ward's usually so careful, too. Such a diligent note taker. You'd think there'd be more to go off of. Stranger than a house cat barking. Mayor Gibson won't be too happy about it.
Hold up. Whoa. What is that? This has been an exciting first episode of Cherry Lake. Many questions remain unanswered. Where is Officer Ward? What was that sound in the forest? What was that strange green goo? Tune in next week to find out.